Well, welcome back to the homestead. It is a humid and pretty warm morning here in the homestead. It's supposed to be cooler today than yesterday, but that remains to be seen. It's already in the 80s. I'm the Frugal Gardener. I'm here in zone 7A. It's in the hills of West Virginia. This is my 12 feet by 40 feet long mini food forest. And there's a lot going on. There's a lot I have to talk to you guys about today. And as always, at the end or towards the end of this video, I have two updates for you. Two, I guess you can call them surprises. One is actually bad, which I almost never do. I like to bring you guys good news, but this is something that has come to my attention, and I want to let you guys in on it, but I want to end on a happy note. So that's the reason why I have two. So much is going on right now. You can see what's happening here in the garden. This is what I'm going to talk about today, but there are so many other things. I might not be able to get them all in this video. As you guys know, I try to keep these videos short, 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes. So if this runs long, I'll pick this up on the second video. So the theme right now, this is about getting ready for fall. For myself, I have had it with these food prices. So I'm planting now, before the fall. I showed you a video. I'll put a link to it for those of you who missed it. This is not my fall planting that I'm getting ready to discuss with you guys. This is kind of an in-between, kind of a shoulder situation where I'm growing things that doesn't take that long to grow, that won't interfere with the fall garden. Now, I just checked, and I am 75 days before my first frost. Showed you guys where to go, how to check your frost dates. So I'm 75 days out. The question becomes, what can I grow in 75 days? And that's basically what I'm doing right now. This is lettuce, and this is radishes, obviously, but I'm growing different types of radishes than I did before. The lettuce you guys know about, I grow this all the time. I just planted some romaine, 65 days. So I have 75 days. So I got a nice comfortable margin there before the first frost. As I always tell you guys, those are estimated dates. There's no guarantee that it's going to be on the first, on the day that they say it's going to be. It might be a week early, it might be a week late. We don't know, but that's what we're going with, 75 days. Radishes, the kind that I've just planted around here somewhere, I had to find them, are the cherry bell. I'm taking a risk with the cherry bells because those seeds are about 3 years old. Let's see what happens. Let's see if they germinate, or if they don't, it's not going to be a big deal. It's not going to be a huge loss. 22 days. These here are the daikon. These are 50 days. I need to add some nutrients to the soil. So daikon radishes, way less than the time period of 75 days. Lettuce, again, way less than, well, not way less, but 65 days. These, no problem. The ones that I planted that are haven't germinated yet, it should be fine. Again, we'll see. Now, carrots, you can barely see carrots. Number one, carrots. Number two, I guess you can tell that I am big on carrots now because it's one of the things that's going up. And this is number three. This is doing well also. The Frugal nephew, who is still out of town, he has the bed of carrots way down at the other end. Those were started first, way before he left, which was first week in July. We are going into the second week in August. So I'm I'm looking forward to him harvesting those when he gets back. So you have also spinach, and you have, well, let's see, this is romaine lettuce, which I have, but have not planted because it takes up a little bit more room than the lettuce that I've been using. So I've planted that. I'm about to plant some more peas because the peas I can do in 50 to 70 days. The bush beans, as opposed to pole beans do take longer. So the bush beans I'm going to put in today. I think those are about 60 days also. So you got these three here in addition to everything I just showed you. That's not everything that you can grow in 75 days. That's just what I am growing within the 75-day period, or should I say 75 days or less. This is a little mini harvest that I for my lemon and cucumbers. These are the smaller ones. I'm going to show you the video of the actual harvest later on. If you stick around, you'll see that. I did that a couple of days ago. I'll insert that. So that brings me to the next thing I want to talk to you guys about, which is comparison shopping. I am the Frugal Gardener, and I'm always looking for ways to save money. We talked about these cone cabbages. In this case, Wakefield. There's about 7 or 8 different brands, names that it goes under. But this is the one that I used in the past. Now, here's a tip. I probably should have saved this towards the end. This is $4.94. You can get this from Amazon. You can get this from Walmart. You can get this from pretty much any place that sells seeds. $4.94. Keep that in mind. Now, I just got this. Both of these, by the way, were shipped to me for free. I don't pay for the shipping with Walmart because I had this membership, because they deliver a lot of our groceries. So this is a 3-pack. Jersey Wakefield cabbage, Jersey Wakefield cabbage. Yes, identical. Except for, you would think, well, if this is $5, so 3 of these will be $15. No, this is $9.98. $9.98 for 3, $4.94 for 1. And I guess you see where I'm going with this. And you can probably say, why do I need 3 packs of seeds? Well, you may not need 3 packs of seeds, but I freeze mine. You can take these and they'll still be good next year. Or if you know someone who gardens, or if you know someone who is trying to save money because of the high food costs and you want to get them into gardening, or there's a lot of ors, there's a lot of reasons why you would want to buy this 3-pack, but the least of which, you can use these next year and the year after next. I planted these, I did a quick video on, these are yellow beefsteak tomatoes. These seeds are 3 years old, but yet they grew anyway. That's because I keep them dry, I keep them in a dark place, and I keep them in a cool place. So yeah, these seeds will probably still be viable. I read somewhere a long time ago that you get a 10% drop off a year. So if you have 90% germination in the beginning, and then you can do the math, that 70, 80, it's going to drop off. So I just throw in a few more seeds. And this is the way I compensate for the fact that the seeds are a little bit older. But any way you look at it, you're basically getting a whole free pack of seeds. So you don't have anything to lose. Now, another thing I decided to do, I'm going to stop right here and talk to you guys for a minute about something that I have decided to do. I'm starting 2 new segments, not series, segments. Segment number 1 is Did You Know? Which is basically going to be 4 or 5 gardening facts about things that people don't talk about, people don't know. And basically, this is going to hopefully uh, give you guys some information on things that you may not have known about gardening. Maybe you did, but this way you'll have that information and that will help you going forward with your garden. The second segment, and these are going to be interchangeable. I may not do both uh, every video. So if you haven't subscribed, you might want to subscribe, because this one is going to be even better. And that's going to be called The Poor Man's Garden. The Poor Man's Vegetable Garden, to be exact. And what that's going to do is go over ways that you can garden for a few dollars, or maybe no dollars, if you do it right. Depends upon what you're growing and when you're growing it. These are the more lemon cucumbers starting to come up over here. So that is something that you probably should pass on to your friends. If well, I know you guys have plenty of money, so you're not concerned about that. But if you don't, then this is a series. This is not, again, not a series. It's a segment that I'm going to do that's going to show you how you can save money even if you don't have a garden. I run into this all the time. I've talked to you guys about this at least half a dozen times. So people saying, well, you know, the prices are too high, but I don't have a garden. I don't have a place to garden. And that is not the case. I'm just noticing here that something has been in here and have eaten all this. And that's really concerning to me. It's possible that a deer got in here, because this is all eaten. They didn't touch the actual tomatoes. They probably won't touch those until they're ripe. But now I'm going to put my camera back in here to see what's going on with this. So, did you know, in the Poor Man's Garden, we did comparison shopping. We talked about what you can plant and grow in the next 75 days. And so I'm going to show you guys the harvest that I did, or should I say mini harvest, that I did from the lemon cucumbers a couple days ago. Well, I love coming out in the garden early in the morning. It's cloudy and it looks like we're going to get some rain, but I'm out here this morning to harvest. These are tomatoes. To harvest these guys. And I think I'm late. This is the first time I've grown these lemon cucumbers, and they look like they might be a tad overripe, but I had my eye on 3 or 4 of them. So I'm going to harvest those this morning. And there's a tomato plant growing up in here. I got a couple tomatoes on this one, but this morning it's all about the lemon cucumber. So I'll pluck these guys off. Okay, so here are the first 4 lemon cucumbers. These are about 3 inches across, and I hope they're ripe. I followed the instructions, so we'll see what happens. The bees are busy, so they were out here a minute ago, and there's quite a few more up here that I am going to hopefully harvest in the not too distant future. And over here, my friends are back. The hummingbirds are back. There's about 8 of them, but I only see 1 of them working today. And the bees are, well, they're in there somewhere. Okay, yeah, there we are. There he is, doing his job. Okay, so that's it for the harvest. But I did a series last year on how you can garden with little to no money. And one of the things that I did was I planted a bunch of things in boxes to show you that basically, I mean, the thing is this: there's plenty of forests, there's plenty of parks, I'm not telling you to go out and help yourself to the soil, but people are saying they don't have soil, they don't have containers, they don't have nutrients for the soil, which I also have done several videos on how you can process coffee grounds and banana peels and eggshells and um, all sorts of things that you can use for nutrients. My daughter, the Frugal daughter, basically traced back our family history over 250 years. And I'm pretty sure there was no Walmart or Home Depot or Lowe's back then. So you get the picture. This is what I'm going to put in here. May surprise you because I'm about to plant some carrots. If you look, you'll see these carrots are only 5.5 inches long. 65 days to harvest. Why is that important? It's important because we have about 79 days to the first frost. I talk about frost dates a lot because a lot of people are gardening in the fall this year that have not because of the food prices. So this is the front. This is what it looks like. These are from Burpee, and they are designed to be short and wide. This, excuse me, this is about 6.5 inches long. I did measure it. So 5.5, 6.5, we're in good shape. This is a 50-50 mix. 50% of this is compost and 50% is soil. I put a little bit of peat moss in there. You don't have to. And basically, I'm going to see how many carrots I get out of this. But the idea is to show you guys that you can garden with really nothing. I'm almost sure everybody out there knows somebody that gardens. How many seeds do you need? A handful of seeds. Most gardeners do not use all their seeds and would be happy to share with you. So if you can go to a friend, a neighbor, a coworker, a relative, anybody that gardens and just says, hey, you know, I just want to try my hand at this. Do you have a couple of seeds you can spare? I'm sure they'll give you some seeds and probably some tips and advice. So I'm going to plant those in here. Basically, you want to just barely cover them. You don't want them to be too deep because the seeds are tiny, and you want to make sure they stay moist. That's the big thing. That's one of the most important things. If those seeds dry out and they're small, then boom, you're toast. You might as well start over again. So I'll keep you guys updated on this. But like I said, this is something that you can grow before the first frost. You don't need to. I grow carrots year round, but I don't start them in the winter. I start them, the last carrots that I grow for the year, I start in the fall while it's still warm, because 65 days is not really a long time. You're basically talking about 2 months. So even if you plant these in late September, early October, that still works. Something that's this small in a container like this, in a box like this, you can easily move this around. Most of the boxes that I use are probably 4 or 5 times this size. You can probably tell this is from Amazon because we live out in the boonies. We get a lot of our stuff delivered. But again, you know, boxes, you can easily get them from anywhere. So this is something that I suggest that you guys try, especially if you're trying to save a couple of dollars on your food budget. So there's one other thing I wanted to mention to you guys, I should say again, and that is about me and these garlic bulbs. That probably did not work here. What I do with these garlic bulbs is I've started to plant them all over my garden, and you don't see that much of them over here, but you see them in the chaos garden a lot. And I'm going to have to start planting more over here because they have worked as a deterrent. Nothing has been touched over here, over here. It's just odd to me that they just ate off of this one. That's why I think it was a deer, because of how high they went. But at any rate, this is store-bought garlic, organic. That's the only kind that I'm going to recommend that you guys get. And I planted that around my potatoes and sweet potatoes. Like I said, down over here, you know, like they say, some people say down yonder in the other garden. And by planting those close to everything else, I have managed to ward them off, just like vampires. So that's something that I suggest that you guys try. Now, here we go. What I've been talking to you about, or I guess you can say the tease from the beginning, this was my go-to. This was my organic potting mix. And this was great. This was the company I went to time after time. I mean, I've used others, but this was the one that I liked. And something has changed. I am not going to flat out say to you guys, don't purchase this product. But I will say that I won't be using it anymore. And the reason is because I'm finding more and more of this. These came out of here. And if you're trying to grow, especially carrots, like I'm growing over here and the places that I've shown you, like I'm growing over here and other places, you don't need this. These are obstacles. And matter of fact, you're paying for this. This was just off the top. I didn't go through the whole bag. So, you know, they're saying it's organic and they're saying that it's great for flowers, herbs, fruits, and veggies. I mean, it might be peat-free and all that. That's all well and good. Like I said, you know, I used this for a long time, but I'm not paying for this. This is, if I was to empty this whole bag out, which I started to do, but I didn't want to be dramatic about it. And I could have sifted through this and I would have probably found a lot more of this. You can see how big some of these pieces are. This is not what you need in your garden, especially for potting mix. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys. And that was the downside, but there is a positive side. Well, first, let me tell you, this is a little preview of the poor man's garden. I got this from Walmart for 79 cents. I can tell you, I have it written down somewhere, but at any rate, this was under $1. And I have another one that is a little bit over $1. And then I have one, the larger one, that's I think 2 for 7 something or 2 for $8. These guys, you can use them for a couple of years, and it's definitely good for your garden, and it's something that you definitely want to think about using. So now I said I'm going to end on a high note, and here it is. These are my cucumbers coming up. This is also from my poor man's garden. The box is back. Last fall, I probably waited too late to start that series. I showed you how you don't have to buy containers, you don't have to buy pots, you don't have to spend all this money, especially if you can't afford it, to buy these things. Well, I'm starting it early this year. For those of you who missed it, this is kind of like also a preview. So this is a 2-for-1. It's a preview of what's coming up in the poor man's garden, but this is also French sorrel. I'm not showing you the package because it's just a plain white envelope. It doesn't really show you anything. But the bottom line here is that French sorrel is cold tolerant. French sorrel you can grow down to, I don't have my notes with me, but I believe temporarily down to 0. When we cover this, I will give you more details. But the beauty of this, the reason why I'm showing you guys this today is because this is a green. This is a vegetable that comes back every year. You don't have to do anything. You plant it once and from what I read, 6 to 10 years. It will come back every year. So if you're dealing with food insecurity or know somebody who's having problems with grocery prices, this is something that they may want to look into, because I'm putting this in a box, but I'm eventually going to put this into a larger space. I'm going to probably end up putting it in one of these bins here so it can spread out, and I might end up with several of these. I have something else on the way. In fact, it might be here today that also comes back every year, and that's the name of the game right now. If you can plant things that's going to come back, then that's definitely, obviously, going to save you money in your garden, save you money on seeds, but most of all, save you money on your food bill. So yeah, that's the high note that I wanted to end on. That's it for today, guys. I hope I didn't keep you too long. Thank you again for watching. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe, hit the notification button, because we're going to do episodes, we're going to do segments of the Poor Man's Garden, and we're going to do segments of Did You Know over the next 4 or 5 weeks. And you don't want to miss them, because it's going to be a lot of good information. And then we're going to go into our fall and winter garden. I got stuff in the ground already. I got pumpkins in the ground, and I'm going to put a link to the episode that I did where we talked about the brassicas, we talked about broccoli and cabbage and all that good stuff, Brussels sprouts. So that is going to follow these next few videos. So again, thanks for watching. I'm the Frugal Gardener. Remember, when you grow your own food, you'll always know where it comes from. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Go out and grow something, and have a great day.